I just got laid off from my job. What now? Should I start my own business? It's a fair question. I'm no stranger to getting laid off. In fact, in my career as a television journalist, I was laid off twice. Twice, people. So I know firsthand the stress and anxiety that come with losing your job. You don't have that comfort and security of a regular paycheck at the end of every month. Now, figuring out what to do after losing your job can be a daunting experience. But take it from me, you can get out of this, even though it may not seem that way right now. So if you're thinking about starting your own business instead of looking for another job, it's a viable alternative. I know because I did it. After I was laid off the second time, I figured I'm not going for the hat trick. I decided to start my own business, a video production company, instead of fishing for another job in journalism. If I told you it's been a smooth ride, I'd be lying. Still, it has turned out to be a rewarding experience in many ways. So if you've been laid off and you're thinking of starting your own business, it's a solid option. You can leverage the skills and experience that you've accumulated over many years as a working professional and put them to use as a self-employed person to create fantastic opportunities for yourself. I'm Paolo Kernahan, a former television journalist. As a news reporter, I wrote the news. As a news anchor, I read the news. And as a morning talk show host, I talked about the news. Today, I teach entrepreneurs and executives a video-first marketing strategy to bring in more business. This is my personal YouTube channel where I get real on the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. Let's figure this thing out together. So in this video, I won't be weighing into specifics like registering a business and setting up bank accounts and taxes and all of that stuff. What I'll focus on is some key steps I've learned are vital to the success of any business, no matter the industry or niche. Getting laid off can be a devastating experience. You can feel blindsided. Nobody's ever ready to lose their job. I know that's how I felt. I was like, where the hell is this coming from? I felt sad, I felt angry at the same time. And what made it worse is I worked so hard for these people for so long, but that's how it goes. Now, starting your own business can be a great option. That's the road that I took. It's not the easiest road though. However, it can be very rewarding if you follow some few key strategies. Now, here's the advice I wish I had when I had just lost my job and I started my own business. The first thing you need to get clear on is your USP, your unique selling proposition. What are you going to offer and how will it be different from what's already on the market? Let's say you want to start a coffee shop, but your community has already established coffee shops. A crowded market doesn't necessarily mean there's no space for you. One, it means there's demand. And two, it's a reminder you need to craft a unique offer. You can cater to coffee connoisseurs with exotic coffees no one else is offering. But your special take, your USP on a product with high demand. The cost of video gear was falling when I started my video production company. That was great news for my wallet. On the flip side though, that meant that there were tons of other production companies popping up everywhere. The competition was thick. So how would I stand out? Welcome once again to another. Well, I came from television news. Journalists develop a unique blend of skills. I was able to take to my clients a keen nose for good content, editorial expertise, accuracy, speed. I bundled all of those skills into one package. My competitors, well, they didn't have all of those competencies under one roof. Fantastic content, fantastic turnaround time. That was my USP. Hey, if any of what I'm saying strikes a chord with you, then feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon below so we can continue this entrepreneurial journey together. Now, lots of people love to say, do what you love and you won't work a day in your life. Well, I don't know too many people who are going to be willing to pay solid money to watch you sitting down and playing video games all day. Actually, scratch that. There are quite a few people who make a pretty good living doing exactly that. If you're thinking of starting a business, you want to make sure there's enough market demand for what you plan to offer. You have to be sure people want or need what you've got. Do a Google search. Check out demand in your industry. Get your hands or eyes on reports with industry information. You can also do surveys on Facebook and LinkedIn to gauge the kind of interest for the product or service you have in mind. Industry research means you're not flying blind. You'll have a pretty good idea of exactly who wants or needs the product or service you have to offer. You'll also figure out if you have to tweak, if necessary, your product or service to make sure it's what people have shown they will buy. You've heard, don't try this at home. Well, I like to tell future entrepreneurs, don't try it broke. If you start a business and in the early days you're constantly worried about paying bills, keeping a roof over your head, and taking care of yourself, building a business is going to be a tough ride. If you've lost your job and you want to start a business, take it from me. You'll want to have a decent amount of money to get started. Now, I'm not saying you have to have $500,000 sitting down in a bank account somewhere. Nobody expects to lose their job. When I lost my job, my severance check was nothing to write home about. I didn't have a lot of capital laying around. So what I had to do was get 2 additional sources of income. The first was a newspaper column, which I write to this day. And the second, well, I was hosting a television morning show, a talk show. And here's how that one worked. So I'd get up early in the morning, get to the television station. The show started at 6. I'd be done by 8. And at that time, I would change out of my suit into my bush clothes because I'd be going into the bush to record my nature television series. That was for my substantive business. Those 2 additional income sources allowed me to stay on top of expenses. Now, if you wait for all the stars to align and all the capital to be there, you might never get started. Conversely, if you start off with insufficient income, you might fail early and permanently. So it's a good idea, if you can, to get some additional income sources to help get your business off the ground. Being laid off is tough, even for the most optimistic of people. It's normal to plunge into an emotional roller coaster ride. After I lost my job, I felt hurt, betrayed, lost, bitter. All the things you need to help keep you stuck. And I was stuck for a little while. In time, though, I learned that I would get through this. I would move beyond this experience. It wouldn't define me. There are loads of options and opportunities out there for you. Big disclaimer here, I'm not suggesting that everyone who loses their job should jump up on Monday morning and go start a business. It's not for everyone. But if you're interested in starting a business because you've lost your job and you've done your homework, it can be a fantastic way of taking control back of your life. How about you? Have you lost your job and are you flirting with the idea of starting a business? Are you a little bit scared, nervous, terrified, excited, or a combination of all? That's certainly how it was for me. Have you thought about what you want your offer to be, what you want your business to look like, or are you still trying to figure that out? Let me know in the comments below. I want to compare our experiences. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.